back to my channel. As you already know, it's your girl Ilana, the only Ilana. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you tuned in. Thank you very much. Warm welcomes to you. If you all haven't already joined the Self-Care and Beauty Gang, you know what to do. Hit that red subscribe button down below. Join the Self-Care and Beauty Gang today. We would love to have you. I would love to have you. So before we get too far into this video, I just want to let you know that this is unfortunately not the last update on my Invisalign journey. But for starters, I like to update you on week number 16. As I mentioned in my last video, the weeks are pretty the same since my last visit or my last follow-up with the IPR. There hasn't been many changes. So I did get the spacing done in between my teeth and my bottom row, which was my IPR that was done on my follow-up appointment on week 10. Unfortunately, during week 16, the process of my teeth coming together actually slowed down. So remember, when I got the IPR done and I went for that follow-up, the purpose of that appointment was for them to create more space in between my teeth to allow room for the dentist to work with. So for me, they basically just created more space. Originally, I did have quite a bit of crowding, which you can call minor, but it was still something that bothered me. Anyway, they created space for me during week 10. By week 12, 13, I noticed that that space started to close in. Before it started off as gaps, that space started to close in, so I wasn't concerned. But by the time I got to week 16, things started to slow down quite a bit. Things did start to slow down a bit, but it wasn't to a point to where I would be concerned about how slow the process is going or how fast the movements are going, because I was so confident that the trays were going to do what they needed to do each week, because they had been, doing so great up until week 16. So here's what happened. It's okay, don't be scared. I'm okay, everything's fine. However, I know I made it sound dramatic, but week 16, I just believe that the trays didn't put in work. Okay, let's just put it that way. I don't feel like the trays put in work. I feel like my teeth didn't move. They just stopped shifting completely in line. They didn't close up any more than what they were from week 15. I know I gave you guys an update on 14 and 15, but the close-up that I showed you during week 15 and where the spaces were at that moment is how they remained during week 16, period. They did not change. So that was very disappointing. So I just want to get into week 17 because week 16, nothing really happened. So week 17, okay, ladies and gentlemen, here's where the real tea comes in. During week 17, you'd be surprised to know that nothing changed. I was basically my last set of trays was more so like a retainer for whatever had happened from the 10th week to the 15th week. Those two trays that I wore for 16 and 17 did, I would say, in my opinion, nothing. Okay, and that's where I was concerned. I was supposed to have a follow-up appointment on the last day of that week, which would have been the Thursday. And by the time Thursday came, I wore my trays throughout the entire week, just hoping that even though I'm not noticing a difference right now, that by the end of that week, that things would be perfectly in line. But that did not happen. So I'm on my way to the dentist, all excited, ready for my follow-up. I just want to know what the dentists are going to say. I already was ready to ask my questions on what was happening and things that I had noticed, but I wanted to know what they had to say about this whole process. Long story short, I get there, I'm still wearing my retainers, right? No, I'm still wearing my trays from week 17. I didn't remove them. I always, when I have a visit, I go in with my trays in because I want to get the full benefit out of wearing them. So if I have to wear them up until the dentist sees me, then that's what I'm going to do. So I have my trays in, I get in, I sit down in my room, they have me lay back in my chair, and the doctor comes in and she's like, hey, how's everything going? I'm like, great. And she's like, let's take a look at your teeth. Tell me what you think. Okay, so tell me what you think. I'm like, okay. So I get to voice my opinions right off the bat. I like that. So she asked me my opinion and I gave her what I felt like was happening in my mouth, because that's why I'm here, to talk about my mouth. So I explained to her that I still noticed spacing in between my teeth and that they had not completely shut all the way. And one thing I didn't mention to you all, that I did also notice that one of my teeth were slanted a bit. So, and I feel like that came from the IPR, like the tool that they use to create the space, sharpened one of my teeth a little bit more in the corner. So it's kind of like a small slant, which you can't really notice it unless you're up close. Again, it's not noticeable. I'll just put a picture up so you guys can see how it looked up close. But I brought that to her attention, and you know, and while I was explaining all of this to her, I also had a mirror that she handed me. So I held that in front of my face. She was looking, I was pointing, and, you know, showing her all the areas of my concern that I had with my mouth, you know, with it being the last week that I may be in there. So we took a look together. Given that this may have been my last week in the dentist's office, I wanted to voice all of my opinions. And this is very important. If you're watching this video, please take note to not be afraid to speak up, because the dentist may not notice things that you notice. The fact that she even asked me for my opinion tells me that there are some blind areas that they may not see. And if I hadn't pointed it out, they would have been ready to put retainers in my mouth and I would have been unsatisfied. However, after I voiced my concerns, the dentist did go in and take a look for herself. So, you know, the next step in this process isn't and wasn't solely based off of what I felt was happening with my smile, or, you know, how I felt about it overall. Even though how you feel about it overall matters, it's also important that your dentist is examining your mouth every time you go to visit to also make sure things are looking the way that they should. And if there is something that you pointed out, they can try to figure out what it is and why it's happening. Okay, so moving on. She understood that there was no movement. She didn't say that there was a reason why that happened, but it turns out that I'm going to have my buttons replaced on my teeth, so they'll have whole new positions, pretty much kind of like how it was the very first time I went. If you go back and watch my very first video ever, you'll see where I was talking about buttons being placed on my teeth, which are the same color of my teeth, so you can't see them. They're almost invisible to the naked eye. But I'm gonna have buttons removed, all of them, the ones that were originally placed, and then they will apply new buttons, put them in different positions, so that when I get my new set of trays, things will basically start to happen almost like all over again, like day one. It'll be a day one all over again, just to kind of get my teeth to shut all the way. So, you know, right now what I'm doing is currently wearing the trays that I had for week 17 as a retainer. So I am wearing them for up to 20 to 22 hours of the day, as I should. And I'm just wearing them as a retainer, not really expecting movements at this moment. I'm just wearing them until my new set of trays come in. So the dentist, she's going to call me when they come in. When I first signed up for this plan, it took a few weeks for my boxes to come. And so I just had an appointment on Thursday, so I would give it a couple weeks before my next set of trays come in. And also, I don't know how much longer I will have to wear the trays, but I'll find all of that out once I go back in for my next follow-up and to get my trays and have my buttons placed. I'll have all of that information for you guys on my next video. But for now, we're just wearing retainers. If I notice any changes, great. I'll probably pop back on here for a few minutes and let you know what changed while I was just wearing the old week 17 trays, if anything changes at all. But that's pretty much it. That's all I have for today. Those are the updates for week 16 and 17. I am a little, you know, down about the fact that I'm not done with the journey. I was expecting to be done because of how well things were going, but, you know, there are some bumps in the road and we just kind of go with it. So I'm excited to know that by the end of the journey, for sure, my smile will be where I want it to be. And I'll keep you guys updated throughout the process. What else? I don't really want to miss anything. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, I'll just be back with another update after I get my new set of trays. I'm just so happy that I get to share this experience with the world. You know, just given that this is something that I've been wanting to do for so many years and I'm finally here. I know I'm not done yet, but I'm working towards, you know, a goal of mine, and we're accomplishing that little by little as time goes on. So thank you again so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful. If not for you, a friend or a family member, please comment down below with any questions that you may have. Don't forget to subscribe to the Self Care and Beauty Gang today. We would all love to have you, me especially. I would love to have you. All right, see you next time. And before you go, just remember to stay happy, healthy, and beautiful. Bye.